On his cheek? Yeah.
It'll be huge.
See how he feels in the morning, right?
Such a big deal. Okay, 6 o'clock.
What they have to say.
It is 6 o'clock. I will call the meeting of the Manitowoc Public School District Board to order. And we are doing a Pledge of Allegiance today with the FCLA? YA, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Come on up.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry about that. I've been retired 10 years. Lori, roll call.
Christopher Abel,
In person.
David Bowman,
Right here.
Rick Hansen,
Present.
Ann Holson,
Here.
Mary Lofi Blahnik,
Present.
Keith Shaw,
Here.
Carrie Trask.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. And before we get to public input, we have the District Youth Art Month recognition. So Superintendent, take over.
Yeah, so the Manitowoc Public School District is pretty unique in the way that we celebrate art. We have the RAR West Art Museum in our town, and every year we have special exhibits done by our students and organized by our staff to help honor and showcase the wonderful talents and gifts that our students have in the area of the arts. And so this evening, we're very proud to welcome 4 of our MPSD art teachers. From the elementary level, we have Ellie DeMuth and Morgan Siebel. And from the middle level, we have Emily Furco. And from the high school, we have Sam Deely. And the MPSD, as tradition, purchases 3 pieces of art every year for Youth Art Month. And we purchase an elementary selected piece, we purchase a middle level piece and a high school level piece. And so here tonight to help us honor the students who produced this artwork, we have our staff. So I'll turn it over to them to present them with the awards.
All right, hi everyone, I'm Sam Dealeyberg, one of the art teachers at Lincoln High School, and I was going to do an introduction, but Lady Tennis did a wonderful job. So I took a lot off of my shoulders. On behalf of the art department, I do want to thank the board for continuing this tradition and allowing us to fill the halls with student artwork. It's wonderful to be able to celebrate the diverse talents we have in our district every year, so we thank you very much.
Great. For my student, Ezekiel Watkins, present you this. Do you want to share something about your favorite part of the project?
The beak, because like that little down part, my finger went down, and the pass down was too long. And then
Again, I'm Emily Ferkel. I'm the art teacher over at Wilson Middle School, and Marilla Parkin is the one that created this wonderful oil pastel piece. Marilla, would you like to say anything about your art piece? It's great. Don't have to say it's great. All right, here we go.
And I am speaking on behalf of Trina Mua today because she is a busy girl and unable to make it. However, she made this beautiful graphite drawing of a bunny, and she used the grid drawing technique, which is a very advanced method to create a more realistic approach. So she did a great job.
And these works of art will be displayed in our boardroom for a year. And then they'll find a permanent home. We have artwork all over this building from years and years of doing this. And these, after they have their year on tour here, they'll find the spot somewhere. So someday when maybe before you graduate, you can come back and find it. We'll play a little game and you can find it in here. So again, congratulations. Lori, should we do a picture in the front? Yeah. Want to just go up on stand in
You
the
want
center?
kids to hold their artwork?
Yeah, drop your,
Yeah, show it to me. Ooh,
staff.
Okay.
yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I have to do that, I'm sorry.
Your shoes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Can't think of these phones just block us off anyway.
So thank you to the artists and the teaching staff from the board. It is great. It's great to see the talent. It's unbelievable. So we'll move on to public input. I have 2 requests tonight. So you have up to 5 minutes, and we'll start with Barbara.
Good evening. 825 Wilson Street. As this year comes to a close, I visited 2 schools that I had served when I was here. And I want you to keep in mind that it's not just buildings, it's what's happening within those buildings. True inclusion, a belonging for all, not just dissents, a real engagement through modification with appropriate age peers in a real classroom. School personnel working as a true team. Today, everyone's attitude matters. That's what team means to me. And in a public school where people are universally united because literacy learning matters. I know true inclusion works. It takes time and true educational understanding. But when you have been with kids that never could read or do anything like that, and suddenly they can stand up in front of a peer group and read a story and answer questions, that's just true magic to me. And I'd like to say that a school team that works together, I mean, a whole school district that works together can have that fruition come true. And many transitions, you're going to be going through many more transitions, and you have to all be informed and keep your heads up for those kids, because the students are the students that matter. You've done your thing, okay? Everybody needs to be informed, and I'm really glad that you had these conversations and sessions with the public, because I think that really makes a difference. And I'm really sorry that people don't appear, because I think they already think that you have it all decided. But I really think as a community, you need to keep the conversation going. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Sarah.
Sarah Weinberg, President of the Manitowoc Education Association. I just wanted to thank you before the end of the school year happened. Thank you for standing up for us as educators. I know this year was not an easy year. I think I told Lee, I hope that this grade realignment doesn't cause another pandemic. A little nervous right now. But thank you for watching class sizes, Keith. Thank you, Chris, for fighting for the end of vouchers or information getting out there on vouchers. There's a lot of moving parts happening. Hopefully everything happens as it should over this summer. But thank you for building a relationship with us and doing meet and confer. We really appreciate it. And I hope we continue next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sarah. That is our request to speak tonight, so I will close public input at this time. And we'll move on to the consent agenda. Is there anybody who wishes to withdraw anything from that consent agenda? Mr. Shaw.
I'd like to pull Section D, Personnel Report.
Section D, Personnel Report. Anything else from anybody? Anything else? Seeing nothing else, let's do it this way. Let's bring up personnel. Keith, concerns for the report.
Sure. Looking at on the personnel report, I noticed that there was a resignation for some kindergarten positions and some elementary positions. And having had input from a number of people in the district about how this would take place, I see that there's kindergarten positions that are have left to resign from one school and going to another school. So I guess my question to Stacy would be is if there was a teacher in a school that was going to not be operating next year, and that teacher was placed in a building where it was not their first or second choice, would that teacher have a right to then take one of these new positions in the elementary building that was just posted?
So the first thing with that is we always look at, whenever we have a resignation, we look at our class sizes and numbers to see, do we need that position or do we need to adjust between grade levels to see where we need the staffing? So sometimes we have somebody resign that was a first grade teacher and we look at numbers and we're like, we've lost some first graders, but we could use a second grade teacher. So first of all, we look to see, even though that's a resignation in that area, we might not fill that exact position because of looking at numbers at this point in the year to see where there's a need. The second thing is once we have any openings for positions, what we're doing is posting them internally for our staff to be able to apply for that. So staff just have to submit a letter saying that they're interested in that position. That gives an opportunity for any staff that's interested in that position to be able to move it, to be able to apply for that position. And then the building principal interviews and decides who's moving into that position. So that's the process we've used in the past. And that's the process we'll continue to use.
So they do have a right, but they have to basically go through not an application process, but at least a request.
Correct. And we know that some people who put, on their survey results in January that they wanted to be at this building or this grade level and maybe didn't get it. Like I've had people say to me, I'm okay with what you put me in. And I don't necessarily, I don't need that first choice anymore. I'm okay where I'm at. So we want to give all people the opportunity and just say, this is the position open. Anybody can submit and say they're interested. So.
And I guess also the elementary library media specialist, don't know who to address that to, but did we talk about that?
Yeah, we approved that, I think, last month, I think it was,
Okay,
as a new position.
okay. And that is that we're having that at the elementary level because?
We currently do not have any, we currently do not have a certified library
Okay.
media specialist covering our elementary schools. So that person will help. They'll still be like library media managers, but that person will help with the curriculum-based digital.
And they'll be in
learning,
charge
things
of
like
all of the elementaries?
Correct,
And that's a certified position?
correct.
Don't have any other questions? Yep.
Good.
Thank you.
Any other questions on that? Okay, hearing seen none, I will look for a motion to approve all of those, including the discussion that we had on that. So all of the consent agenda items, I have a motion by Carrie. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from David. Any other discussion on those items? Hearing seen none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. And the consent agenda is good. All right, We do not have a student representative report tonight. Both of our students are busy in athletic contests tonight, so they could not be here. Superintendent report.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for coming out tonight. I begin the superintendent's report tonight with two separate, but the same night, YA celebrations. The first celebration is actually for you as a school board. You see this hardware up here. On April 10th, the Manitowoc Public School District was honored in Oshkosh at the CISA 6, essentially PAC meeting, I think it is, but they honored YA, they had YA awards. And the district received this award. So when I was notified of this award, I'm thinking to myself like, oh, well, yeah, we're getting this award because we have like 190 YAs and we're a leader in the region and in the state. But I was surprised to learn that really we're being honored because our school district is employing students at the level we are. And not just in education, but we have PT, OT, nursing. This next year we have marketing, we have IT, we have interpreters, we have instructional aid, EL aides, a wide variety of students with different opportunities to learn about careers in this district. Some school districts are doing YAs as well, but not as diverse of a group that we have. And so we were honored and you were honored. So I accepted it on your behalf. I hope that was okay for that. And at this time, I'd also like to invite our second reason for celebrating is our YA program, and some of our students are here tonight. But I would actually like them to be the poster for this award. So if you could come on up and we'll start with a picture before we get introduced. So if you could go in the middle there and, I don't know, you want to hold some hardware here for us? Johnny, you want to take that? Okay. And then come on up in the scatter. In the center there.
It's like when you turn the light on.
Thank you.
And then you can stay up here because we're going to have a brief presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, Bonnie Zinyak is our YA coordinator in the district and has been for many years. And through her leadership and the School to Work office in partnership with all of their efforts, like I said, we have a world-class program with School to Work. And so tomorrow, plugging our wonderful celebration where we basically fill the Capitol Civic Center, close to it.
We do, we have 4 open seats right now.
Oh, packed. And it's really one of the neatest community events that I attend in an annual basis. It is a wonderful time when our business partners can come in and celebrate the work of our students. Their mentors who spend a countless number of hours with our students are there on hand. And it gives, of course, proud parents an opportunity to celebrate their children and their successes. So Bonnie, I'll turn it over to you to introduce the students and your presentation.
Sure. So thank you for having us. So we are just visiting to talk a little bit about our youth apprenticeship program, share a little bit about the data of where we're at this school year, and then I have some of our students here that represent a good variety of the different career areas and businesses that students can work for, to talk a little bit about their experiences, things they've learned, kind of what their path is after graduation, their plans for the future. So they'll share that with you. So just a little bit about youth apprenticeship itself. So youth apprenticeship, it's a 1 or a 2-year program. So students can do it just junior year or junior and senior year or just senior year. They are spending at least 450 hours at an employer for the school year, learning on the job with the same type of responsibilities and projects that any other employee in their field are doing. They're paid employees. They're getting, in most cases, the same wages as adults would in these same jobs. They're actually making very good money, a lot of these students. And there are over 80 different career pathways that students can explore. So everything from healthcare, construction, STEM, agriculture, basically you name it, Youth Apprenticeship, for the most part, offers it if it's a local job available in our community. Some statistics from the year, as Lee said, we have 190 students this year, which is the most we've ever had. It's a lot of students, especially if you look at our region and even statewide. Lincoln is, in our region, we have the most students, and even statewide, we're one of the largest, if not the largest, youth apprenticeship programs. So it's something to be very proud of, that we're offering all of these amazing opportunities to students. 26 of those 190 are employed by MPSD in the variety of those areas. And then we have 83 local employers that are employing our Lincoln students this year. 138,000 hours were worked by our students, and then $2.1 million were earned by them. So this is a huge investment of our businesses into our kids and into our community and growing our future workforce. So we're very fortunate to have such a supportive community for youth apprenticeship. It's actually a very unique thing that we have in Manitowoc that you don't see other places. That's one of the reasons we have such a strong program, because our community really supports our kids and supports wanting them to explore careers and learn about all of the amazing jobs that they're available in Manitowoc, with the hope that they may stay and someday be employed by their company. I got all my stats here. So we have 4 students here today. We will have them each come up, they'll introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about what they're doing. Feel free if you have any questions about what they've learned or what their path is, feel free. I told them you're allowed to ask some questions.
I am Jonathan Gordon, and I work at Manitowoc Heating. And one thing that's most rewarding about my Y experience in my job is that, you go into a house, it's -30 outside, customers freaking out, hey, my furnace isn't working. And by the end of the day, you have their heat up and running, and you see that smile on their face. I think that's the biggest impact that I can do, at my job, and I really do take a lot of pride in that. I learned a lot of skills over the last 2 years. Work ethic was a big one. Responsibility, teamwork, and I think that'll go very far in life past just the apprenticeship program. I'm very thankful for that opportunity. I do plan on staying at Manitowoc Heating after I graduate high school. I enjoyed it a lot over the past 2 years, and hopefully I can make a very, very good career out of it. So, thank you.
I thank you for your service, because I was probably one of those houses for years ago. Has the technology department at Lincoln High School, have any of our courses helped you in making this decision? Have they enabled you to become quite adept at in your position?
Our metals program at school,
Okay.
that was a big help. I really did. I think Wagner was the teacher at the time. I took the metals class with him in welding, and I enjoyed it a lot. I thought, at the time I didn't know I wanted a career in it, but then all of a sudden I started doing interviews, and I'm like, you know what? I really enjoyed it in school. I think I could make something out of it, and obviously I ended up moving down that path. So it was definitely impacted a lot of it, yes.
Awesome, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
Hello everyone, my name is Merrick Mahosky. I'm a senior at Lincoln High School, and this is my first year doing youth apprenticeship. And I'm a nursing assistant youth apprentice at Aurora Healthcare. Whenever I bring up my apprenticeship to people, they're always shocked that I can earn school credit and get paid at the same time. Which, I mean, of course that's a bonus, but youth apprenticeship is just so much more than that for me. It's been so rewarding. Not only has it given me first-hand experience and a head start working in the field that I wish to pursue, but it has helped me to solidify my career choice, inspired me to get my CNA certification, which I never even thought of before, given me tons of new opportunities, and I've gained so many lifelong connections with my coworkers and the patients that I get to work with. Before starting YA, I honestly had no idea what I wanted to do in the future. Like there were so many options and it was kind of super overwhelming. I basically only knew that I wanted to work in healthcare, but had no idea where to go from that point. And starting this apprenticeship helped me realize that nursing is a path for me. And in my case, I found it like first try, like I knew what I wanted to do. But even if someone tries a youth apprenticeship and they end up not liking the career, I consider that like a good thing because they know like they don't want to pursue this and they can look for something else. And this apprenticeship has also made me feel more mature in a way. I've grown personally and professionally. I feel more confident and I've built myself a network of mentors, peers, and connections, and I've basically found my purpose in life. And I am going to stay with Aurora Healthcare after graduation while going to Lakeshore College for nursing. And all in all, I couldn't be more thankful for Youth Apprenticeship and everyone who has dedicated their time and effort into this program. This is genuinely a game changer for so many people, and I'm so excited to be part of it.
Hello everyone, my name is Raya Schreiber and I'm a senior, and for the past 2 years I've been lucky enough to be an EL Youth Apprentice at Riverview Elementary. Going into this, I didn't know what I wanted my post-high school plans to be. I didn't know where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do, but because of this experience and the joy that I felt during this time, I now know that I am destined to work on my bachelor's and become an elementary teacher. During this time, I have formed strong bonds with all of my students and laughed with them consistently, which have made every day more enjoyable than the other. I love being a person that my students can trust and rely on whether they need support, even if it is big or little. Building a relationship with my students has been one of the most rewarding parts of this experience, as it has allowed me to create a welcoming environment where they felt comfortable being themselves. Watching them grow academically and personally has brought me a great sense of pride and has taught me so much about myself and the kind of person I want to become in the future. Although I came into this experience hoping to make a difference in their lives, I can say they have made an even bigger difference in mine. I will always be grateful for my time at Riverview, and I know I will carry them in my heart throughout the rest of my journey. And I want to say thank you to my mentor, Mrs. Dow, and thank you to Mrs. Prezeniak for this amazing opportunity that YA has given me.
Cool.
Hello, my name is Cooper Meadows. I'm in maintenance at Breeze. My apprenticeship at Breeze has made a large impact on my future goals. It has given me the opportunity to be in the NWTC apprenticeship millwright program as an upcoming senior. This is a 4-year program where I plan to continue and develop my skills and knowledge in my field. My boss, Jim, has helped me on a daily basis, always creating a chance to learn and progress, along with my coworkers having patience in my work. This has helped me create a good and solid foundation for my future in maintenance. I think having an apprenticeship is an important tool to have and use to create a strong future in all career paths where you can get an understanding of outside classroom learning and develop crucial life skills. I believe it can help with outside career and work skills as well, as it helped me on a today-to-day basis. Thank you for letting me come here and share my experience.
Does your apprenticeship hours count towards your apprentice hours at LTC, or is that separate?
I believe
They do? That's true. So that's one whole, like
1 year.
a half a year, probably 450 hours. It's 2,000 hours, right? So 450 hours towards being a journeyman millwright.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
That's
Millwright?
fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's along those lines.
I just didn't get that. Yeah, but that's.
I work with hydraulics and electricity and all that things.
Nice.
Very cool.
So just to give you a little more info on what Cooper's doing. So you're right, he's gonna be doing a registered apprenticeship next year as a senior. So the reason why that is amazing is because the state of Wisconsin has only allowed people to do registered apprenticeships as a high schooler for the past 7 years. So before that, you've had to be a high school graduate to even do a registered apprenticeship. So it's a relatively new thing. Statewide, there are very few students who typically qualify to start their registered apprenticeship early before graduation. So Cooper, and then there's one other student, Norland Storzer, that is going to be doing that next year. So we have 2 Lincoln students that will be starting their registered apprenticeships next school year as seniors in high school. And they'll be starting it in the beginning of the school year. They are the first students in our region, so Calumet, Sheboygan, Manitowoc counties, to ever be able to do it at the beginning of the school year. Most students can't do it until January, second semester, because they need first semester to take most of their high school courses. But these students were very motivated and very good at planning and taking the courses that they needed, so they had the time in their schedule. It also very much helps that Lincoln has a block schedule with the 8 periods that really helped them plan out their 4 years. So it's a pretty amazing thing that Lincoln has 2 students able to do this, because statewide the numbers are very, very low of students that can start at that point in their high school career. So it's pretty amazing. And we've only had 2 other students in Lincoln history do registered apprenticeships as seniors, and they started in January. They were not able to start at the beginning of the school year, so it's a pretty amazing thing.
Very cool. So are all of your 100 kids this amazing?
90.
90.
Yeah.
Are all 200 of your kids?
Yeah. And as exceptional as these 4 are, they are all, every single one of them is like this. It's just amazing.
I just think that, I mean, as a board, it's nice to get this type of education.
Yeah.
And I think it's something the community really has to appreciate, that the kids are getting out and getting a real world education and helping making places successful, whether it's Breese or Riverview or the hospital, or keeping my house warm on winter. That is something that I'm sure a lot of people don't realize, that education is more than sitting in a classroom and getting taught by a teacher.
And it's a team effort, because these students wouldn't have been able to do the apprenticeship if they wouldn't have had the right classes and the right folks in our school districts to prepare them. And the interview help, the resume help, all of those types of things. So, I mean, it really is everybody helping them get to this point. So.
And that personal motivation.
Yes.
Sounds like in each one of
Yeah.
the, like, I went after this, so kudos to you.
They're all fields that aren't gonna be AI'd out either.
Those are the fields that most parents that we have the highest number of students in. It's healthcare, education, and construction, and then manufacturing are the top 4, which really represent our local community and our state.
So there's a question that Keith asked about, do the tech classes give skills to help out? Do we look at any of that with some of these other fields like medicine or education? I mean, there's a class where a student could get a little pre-work done before they go in and
In a lot of cases, they do. Often the students will have taken some elective class that has helped them explore a career or given them a little taste and helped them know that, oh, this is something I think I want to try out. Otherwise, part of the youth apprenticeship requirements is that they have to take a class that relates to what they're doing. So as part of youth apprenticeship, they have to take something that's relevant to what they're doing at their job. So sometimes healthcare, that could be our health occupations or medical terminology, anatomy and physiology, something like that. Or your more construction, manufacturing, anything in your tech ed area. So all of these students are also participating in those courses at the same time too, to enhance the on-the-job skills. They're also developing those other skills.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We always appreciate your support. We appreciate the board support, the community support. Part of my
Makes us
team
look
have a strong program.
Programs like this. Yeah.
Thanks for all your work and thanks for your students. Great job.
And just to kind of round things out, I do want to recognize this month's Rising Tide Award winners. The district, Emily Hay from Riverview Elementary Special Education teacher, Shannon Campion, Riverview Elementary paraprofessional, and Kristen Waller, Franklin Jefferson Monroe fifth grade band and orchestra. Again, Rising Tide Awards are given to given to staff who are nominated by their peers, who help our culture by lifting each other up and supporting each other in our district. There's a number of things in my written report. There's one thing that came up today that I just want to add that I didn't know about when this report was penned, which is the news around some potential funding at the state level. And I just want to notify the board, and I did copy you today. I did send emails to Representative Tittle and Senator Lemieux from my position as a superintendent, urging them to support these additional funds. So I just wanted to make all of you aware that I sent those, and you should have been copied in that. I also sent you a forwarded email from WASDA, and if you follow the link to that email, it's a detailed report by the Wisconsin Legislative Financial Bureau. I don't know if I got that right or not, but in any event, it sort of estimates, how much this will potentially mean for our district in particular, as well as others. So that's out there for your digestion, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Questions for Lee? Seeing none? Anything else?
That's good.
I think that's good.
Okay. Director's report. We got an email from Ms. Eichmann that she would not be here tonight. But her information is in that reward, and Heidi is here if you have any questions from the director's report. Heidi, do you have anything to add? Any questions?
I'm excited to see a good interest in the 4K full day programming.
That is at the voucher meeting we're at, Lee mentioned there are some schools actually starting to think about, was it 2K?
Well, I was
not us, but there are.
It's like an arms race. Yeah. How low can you go?
Yeah. So, but I think there's a need out there that.
Yeah, real. There is a need.
Yeah. There's a need, and people are looking for solutions, and that's actually some districts are looking there, but. We'll go one step at a time and we'll get where we need to go.
Yeah, and speaking of, I know we sort of went past it, but that was in my report too, the voucher presentation that the League of Women Voters hosted, and Biff joined myself and Nathan, and we joined in with Two Rivers just to do some educating in the community. Took a lot of questions. I know this board had expressed interest of trying to advocate to have some transparency on our tax bill here within our local area in regards to vouchers. One step that we decided after that meeting, given the interest from people in the community as well as others, and with the number of questions that we really had, we published our presentation, and we're working to set up a meeting with Two Rivers and us just to sort of get some coordination around some educational opportunities, as well as some potential advocacy for some transparency in that area.
Maybe we should make that part of, like a condition of selling the building for $1. Yeah.
What was nice about the meeting was there were a lot of good questions asked, but it was also, it was one of those sharing moments where people would have a question or have a concern and they would say it. And rather than yelling or screaming or be angry about something, there was a discussion. And it was good to see us getting back to that. And I've noticed that even here now that people listen when you ask good questions rather than yell and make up things and call them names. And, then let's talk and let's have a conversation. So it was good to see, and it was well done by the League of Women Voters, I believe. Yeah. All right, so no questions for Heidi. We'll go to unfinished business. I don't believe we have any. And we'll go to new business. Out-of-state travel.
Do we have to do these one by one, or can we do them?
You can slate them if you want.
We could probably do them if that's the pleasure of the board. We can do all the state travel, out-of-state travel. If it came out of committee.
There was no.
There was no committee meeting.
Oh, okay.
So these are
We
straight
would have approved them if we had. I mean, come on. Opportunities for kids? No. I make a motion that we approve all the out-of-state travel possibilities for the kids.
Second.
Second from Mr. Abel. Any discussion? I think you're right, Mr. Bowman. It's a good opportunities to let our kids experience the world.
Mr. President, if I just may, just so that those who may be viewing are aware, these are students that are doing some great things. We have FBLA students that qualified for nationals, FCCLA students qualified for out of state for nationals as well at middle level and the high school level. And then in athletics, our soccer program is going to play a game in Ludington, Michigan, and our cross country program next September is looking to take part in a meet in Gurnee, Illinois.
I appreciated that the majority are grant funded, and one thing caught my eye that if we don't get this funded, these teachers are paying for it because it's that important to them.
Yeah.
Other discussion? Hearing seen none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. And we'll go to the health aide position for intermediate and middle school. Stacy, do you want to comment on that first?
Yep, so this is a new position, that's why it's being brought to the board. We currently have one employee in our district in a similar role as this, that employs up at Lincoln High School. So, I think we have 4 nurses in the district that share all of our schools. And with the health needs of kids in like a building as big as Lincoln, they need to have somebody medically trained that's there all the time. So our current health aide we have is up at Lincoln. The proposal for this position would be to share a health aide between Washington and Wilson for next year. I think I put on here that there's 608 kids as of the day of this memo at Wilson and 655 kids at Washington. So just with kids and health needs, this person then will support when a school nurse can't be there and has to have a medical background.
Stacy, how many students do you have to have before we hire a nurse for each one of these schools, the middle school and the,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a large number of people.
Yeah.
So was it discussed at all? I mean.
So we had talked with Jenny Hins as kind of like our head nurse in the district. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to look for a motion before we discuss it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wanted some information because it didn't go through committee. It was something that came up.
Yeah.
And
that's why I'm asking.
We talked about it. We have a motion from Ann and a second from David. Now we'll get back to the discussion. I just wanted some information from Stacy so you knew what it was about. Since it didn't go through committee.
So Carrie, to answer your question, like, should we have a nurse at each building? And Jenny Hins is like kind of our head nurse. So in talking with her, in the elementary school and even at the middle school levels, the office assistant is a med trained-ish kind of person. They do a little more training so they can help with med distribution. We have some diabetic students, students with other, health impairments. So the nurses really oversee and then help support those other support staff positions.
Okay.
This is just a little bit more of a high level position. So I think we feel comfortable with our nursing staff ratio right now, but having this extra hands of support for kids that might need tube feeding or GI issues or other medical, if another medical fragile child comes, it's just a little bit more trained set of hands to help. So I think they feel good about the nursing.
I raise that because, I mean, honestly, this seems to be the minimum here. I mean, no, not taking action to have this position filled would be, I think, pretty irresponsible. But I'd also like to know what's the cost?
Yep. So this position, just salary wise, obviously, I don't know if the person would take benefits or not. Take benefits, sorry, let me just pull up my calculator. Quick, I think did we talk about Lee, do you remember, it was like 40,000?
I can't,
Right.
we did talk, but I can't remember.
Yep. It's a support staff position, it's not a professional
Oh.
staff position, so it's not as expensive as a school nurse would be. Just one more second and I can pull it up for you, I apologize. Probably between $35,000 and $40,000 for salary.
Mr. Shaw.
Yeah, thank you. I kind of agree with Carrie. I looked at this 25 point bullet job description. And I would love to see what the RN job description looks like, because it looks like this is a mirror image of what our expectations are for our school RNs. I have some grave concerns about what is expected of this position to fill in the absence of an RN making a lot of these decisions. We're talking a lot of life-threatening situations, and I'm not sure that this position to serve over 1,000 kids with an RN bumping back and forth is the best call for our money. I kind of agree with Carrie. I'm not sure that this job description doesn't call for a much more licensed, certified personnel to deal with these medical issues that are taking place in our schools right now. It's not the day where you put on a Band-Aid and give some Tylenol. We're dealing with life-threatening allergies and Medicare and our medical illnesses and tube feedings and all this kind of stuff, and a lot can go wrong. And I think we're subjecting an RN's license to a paraprofessional to fill all these 25 bullets. But I'm not sure we're being prudent in who we're staffing here. It's just my opinion.
And just a point of information for that, in the full job description, the person must be should be a graduate of a practical nursing or medical assistant program. So that is one of the requirements of the job.
Other discussion on this? Seeing none. We have a motion to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Nay.
It sounds
Not
like,
because I don't agree with the position. I think that it's totally asking a great deal of our staff, so. Same.
okay. We have, then I will turn it over to Mr. Shaw for the Finance Committee issues. Starting with the Madison School property offer.
Nathan, I'm glad to see you've taken front and center here, so we can.
Among the.
Yeah. Yes. First on the agenda is the Madison School property offer. Great discussion over the last 2 months between the city and the school district. The committee, the motion was made for the Board of Education to accept the City of Manitowoc's offer to purchase the Madison Elementary property. I make that into a motion.
We have a second.
I'll second.
David with the second. Discussion. Any discussion? Chris?
Thank you. So I didn't say anything at Facilities and Finance. I'm not a member of the committee. It would have been inappropriate. But tonight, this entire board is tasked with considering the city's incredible offer to purchase Madison Elementary. Well, honestly, to purchase the land on which Madison Elementary stands, they have no interest in Madison Elementary itself. And so I have an opportunity tonight to do something almost nobody ever gets to do in a public meeting, and that is quote Virgil. Sometimes Shakespeare, sometimes Homer, almost nobody gets to quote Virgil. So I get to say, for my part, I do not trust the Greeks even when they offer gifts. So let's consider this offer. The city has proffered a 12-page, 700-line contract. Okay, much of it's boilerplate stuff, but it has some points that are of real interest and importance. Like lines 37 and 38 require acceptance of this offer on or before April 15th. And it disallows considering any other offers after that acceptance, but in advance of closing. We ought to consider what's the city's hurry? Creating a false sense of urgency is a standard tactic of used car sales.
Yeah, right.
Well, you better buy it today because it might not be here tomorrow. You better take the offer today, it might not be around tomorrow. Okay? So accept the offer by the 15th or else, to which I consider, or else what? You'll offer us less than $1 next time? I find that kind of hard to believe. Okay? Also, it's worth considering that technically, by accepting this offer, everything that is semi-permanently attached in the building as of the date of the offer, April 21st, officially belongs to the city. Do I really believe the city is going to be that jerky about it? No, I don't. But technically, anything mounted in the buildings belongs to the city if it was affixed to the building inside or out as of April 21st. It's worth considering. And despite declarations that we're not in the real estate business, the district is concerned about what could end up there or about blight. But the honest truth is, once sold even to the city, we could easily lose all control regardless of who buys it, city or anyone else. Now, the mayor has told us at these public meetings, the city has no plans for the property and no wish to have a TIF. To that, I can only say politely, go on and pull the other leg too. Because I cannot believe that that is credible. The mayor said upon taking possession of the property, the city will inform interested developers to come up with proposals. It was unclear when I heard it if he said they currently have 14 or 14 developers that they will be contacting, regardless of if it's in the mid-teens or if it's in the mid-tens, it is a lot of developers. I find it hard to believe that there's no one else with interest in this property right now. Once again, I find that incredible. You might say then, so why haven't we heard from any of them? Well, here's the truth. They're not stupid. They know that if the city gets it for $1, they'll literally get it for a song. So they're going to wait it out to get the best, be in the best possible position to purchase the property, okay? So, you know, we also have to think about some hard truths about TIFs here. And I know the city claims they don't expect to do a TIF, but honestly, if you've seen what's been developed in coordination with the city in the last decades, developers like TIFs so that a lot of the infrastructure is paid for rather than coming out of their pocket. The last infrastructure that was paid for by a developer was the corner on which Festival Food stands, and they paid to put in those streets and that intersection. It's the last time it's happened, so that's how far back the last time a developer paid for that kind of stuff is. Okay? Now, nobody's gonna take this land, nobody's gonna take Lighthouse Park and work on it without some kind of assistance. City's going to shrug, they're going to say, gee, we didn't wanna do a TIF, but what choice did we have? It's the only way we could do it, you know? And why this matters is the huge boom that has been promised to the taxpayers doesn't exist if you use tax incremental financing to do the development. That promise of tax dollars to the city, to the county, to the school board, to the technical colleges disappears until the TIF is completed. That could be 20 years, that could be 30 years. If things go horrible and you beg for help, it could be longer than that, okay? So what can we do? Well, we could have used the model that was used when we sold McKinley. We hired actual realtors. And the realtors looked over the building and sold it for us. I want to point out that that model netted the school district about $250,000. This model is netting us $1 million. So it's worth considering that. But still, I don't expect that to happen. I think you'll sell it. And because of that, to protect the residents who live on Fourth and the residents who live on Huron, I will motion right now to amend this contract to add the following lines. Lines 681A through C and 681D through F to state, in the event the city attempts a TIF district for this or adjoining properties, this sale becomes null and void, the property reverts to the MPSD, and the buyer pays the seller a $300,000 penalty. Now that is 681A through C. 681D through F states, in the event the city fails to zone the property to prohibit Airbnbs or primarily vacation use, the sale becomes void, the property reverts to the MPSD, and the buyer pays the seller a $300,000 penalty. Those are my motions. I would hope for a second.
Do we have a second?
I will second for discussion purposes.
We have a second
Thank
for
you, sir.
discussion. Discussion?
Could I
Yes.
speak to the motion?
Yes.
$300,000 is not randomly chosen. I don't just pick wild numbers. $300,000 is exactly the kind of money it would take to keep the building running, heated, maintained for 5 years. 5 years of cost at an average cost of $5,000 a month. We would be able to keep the building warm, maintained for 5 years under that. And if we have to take repossession, they have to help us with those costs.
I
Gary.
just want to know why it's in our interest to say, if you have Airbnbs, et cetera, you know, this contract is null and void. I mean, we don't want to, why would we want to do that?
My understanding.
So we're going to be, more holy than the Pope on what happens to that land.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I don't consider that more holy than the Pope. I am not inclined to get into a debate about who's more holy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But
yeah.
But I do know the residents there are quite concerned with those properties being bought by investors to use as Lakeview Airbnbs rather than actual homes. Actual homes, while regardless of the use, the tax benefit stays the same, but actual homes have families in them.
Yeah.
And families have children, and children go to our schools.
Yeah.
So that is why.
I would. Is there any other discussion before I say anything? I have a different opinion with TIFs than you do. Without TIF, there'd be a lot of areas of Manitowoc that haven't been redone. There would still be blighted areas in the city. And that's one of my concerns with this area. McKinley, yes, the district got some money for that, but the original people that bought it didn't restore that building. It's being restored now by a different group of people that came in and took it over because it was sold, things were taken out of the building, and then it was sitting there unused for a period of time.
We only got $100,000 for that too.
What's that?
We only got $100,000
Okay.
for that in the original sale.
And this leads to my concern is when we talk 1.4 to 1.8, 1.7 million to rip that building down, if we keep it, we're not getting that much money if we sell it. At least hearing that from developers I know, from building people that I know. That's a lot of money that we would have to tax our people to take that building down if we keep it. I don't want us to sell it to somebody that rips out the copper or takes whatever is valuable in the building, and then it sits there like some of the properties around the city in the past have done. That's one of my concerns. We would have to probably hire somebody to do this for us. We don't have a planning department. We don't have, we don't have that experience that the city has, that good experience that they had, but also the mistakes that we made. And in the end, the city has the right to zone it how they want. The neighborhood can get together and stop that, and I've been involved in that in my neighborhood in a couple of instances where development was stopped. But they have the right to do that and look at how their neighborhood is going to be developed. But that's a city issue. That's not something that we really have the power to do. So I understand it would be nice to have those controls. I'm not sure we have enough information to say we would be better at this than the people that are doing it now.
Yeah.
That's my concern. And
I guess some of the points you bring up, I concur about, I am concerned about the TIF. We all sat here and listened that the first choice is to not have it as a TIF. So I hope in my heart of hearts that our mayor follows through on that. If he doesn't, we are still not the best people to make the decisions you're talking about. Like you said, Biff, the people coming to the city who are living in that community are the best people to plan with a planning department. And that's, I feel they're the best equipped and we are not. To come up with 1.9 is what I think the high was. That's per acre. That's a lot of money that has to sell for. And I'd rather play conservative on this.
Chris.
Okay, to speak to both your points, first of all, I move to amend it. Right. So that there are penalties to the city should they do otherwise. I did not move that we take over the property. That would be point one. Point two, you hope that the city doesn't do a TIF. One person up here has a decade of experience on city council. And that person is telling you, pull the other.
I think the situation is sort of compounded by the fact that we have to heat and pay the electricity for another abandoned building at the same time. I mean, there's only so much, empty space that we can keep paying for. And I'm kind of eager to shove this off on the city like we got the baseball field.
We can definitely do all those considerations with second school that we have to deal with next. I mean, we still have so much to deal with that I feel this is our first step in making the decisions for our consolidation, moving forward in our planning by putting this on this board. We are not the expert.
Any other comments? Mary?
I think from the beginning, I've said it's a gamble. And it's hard when it's not my money we're gambling with. It's the public's money. And we have to be careful with that. I appreciate Mr. Abel's attempt at some change in that contract. I am going to assume, and I know what they say about assuming, but I'm going to assume the city would not agree to those 681, A through C and D through F. Could we take another kick at the can with their contract? Absolutely. But having some experience, having sold houses of my own in the past, you don't go to the person buying your house and saying, here are the contingencies about what you can do with it. You can't paint any of the bedrooms pink.
Yeah.
Right? You can't, that's not the way real estate works. Again, Mr. Abel, I appreciate your thinking in trying to protect that property in our community, but I'm not sure we would get anywhere with it.
Keith, just a very easy comment for me to make. I've said this all along. I don't believe school districts are in the real estate business. I don't believe school districts have a responsibility to real estate. The district received that land from the city as a gift to build a school, and we've utilized it. We've had great opportunities in that. And now it's back to a real estate point of view and a real estate concept. And I don't believe that's a district's responsibility that runs a school. I think it's our district's responsibility to educate kids, not be in the real estate business. So Mr. Abel, you've done a phenomenal job as you always have, but I can't support your amendment.
Any other discussion?
I guess one of the questions that seems unresolved is why a park? I mean, and it's sort of like, well, we want to give it to the city in a way that's, attractive for them to buy it, right away, because we don't want to incur the cost and the responsibility of just having it sit there. But why didn't we say we'll sell it to you for $100,000?
I already own it. Why is the city gonna tax me for something that I already own?
Okay, yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, and that's why, with the baseball and the football field, it was the same thing. If we own it, it doesn't make any sense to say, hey, it's a different unit of government, so now you gotta tax and pay for it again.
Yeah, okay.
That's, and that's, I know that's kind of hard to understand right away, and that's the question that I've gotten.
But there were a lot of people who asked that question.
Yeah, and once you explain it to them, they go, oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Anything else? And we will vote on the amendment to the contract. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Nay.
And we go on to the original sale. Vote on the sale. Any discussion on the original? Hearing, seeing none. All those in favor of the Madison School property offer signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay.
Nope.
And that passes. So then we move on to the benefit broker.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Shaw.
Came out of committee as well. I'll make the motion, then we can have seconded, and then maybe Nate can explain this a little bit more in detail. But I move that the Board of Education approve R&R Insurance to provide benefit broker services to the district. That's the motion out of committee, or motion was made out of committee.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion on it. Or Nate, give us some info.
Sounds good. I think the term I use, the R&R is going to be like a Sherpa for us, working with us, picking health insurance, dental, vision, things like that. We looked at, we had no bad options. We had six good proposals. We had 4 good groups that came in. R&R really stood out. The strength of their team that was in front of us, their communication clearly stood out amongst the other 3 that came in for an interview. One of the key parts that really perked up our benefits team internally is the system that they have to offer to help out with open enrollment, so it's less of a manual process. They give us access to analytical teams to take a look at current and future plans that we're looking at and seeing if that meets our needs. I'd like to the district's needs. I'd like to welcome Michelle Freilich up. She's going to be she's the account rep that led the pitch for the school district, and I just welcome her here to tell us a little bit about R&R.
Well, before I tell you about R&R, I'll tell you that none of my artwork when I was in the Manitowoc Public School District is hanging up. I got this was great. R&R Insurance is the state's largest family-owned insurance agency, which is important because then that means your dollars are staying in the community. We're really ingrained with all of the districts that we work with. We have a very strong school district clientele. And as a former teacher of the Appleton Area School District for 20 years, something that I think you know, with talking with Nate and the benefit team that did the interviews and the process, is really getting your staff engaged and making sure that they know how to use their benefits most efficiently and effectively, really is what can move the needle in terms of kind of containing the costs, because healthcare costs supersede all other inflation, and so we have to put the right, you know, pull the right levers at the right time. So really looking forward to working with the Manitowoc Public School District.
One of the things that I like to call out, just to focus again on communication. After we got done with the four groups that came in, you know, one of the things that the three of us said in the interview teams that we really could see Michelle in front of our staff, in front of our teachers. She, you know, having been a teacher for 20 years, over 20 years, she knows the lingo, she knows how to speak to other teachers, and I think that would be, you know, something really powerful to have her in front of our staff to help educate about their benefits programs, what they have to offer. So I think that's something that most definitely set R&R apart in the interviews.
Gives me my teaching fix, you know? And the other piece on that is since I haven't been doing, I mean, I've been in insurance for 15 years, but I don't use all of the insurance lingo, kind of make it make sense for the normal person, because insurance is super confusing.
So aren't we coming upon an open enrollment window now?
That'll be in fall.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So you have time to build
the
program.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, January 1 is when we return.
Any other questions for Nate?
I'm bummed that news left.
Yeah.
Steven's still here.
See no other questions. We have a motion for acceptance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.
Go on to UWGB MCC.
The
MPSC agreement.
third article that came out of the Finance and Facilities Committee, which we'll take in two motions. It was the contract with the UWGB and Manitowoc County. The first motion was made by the Facilities Committee, unanimously passed. The Board of Education approved the sublease agreement with the University of Wisconsin Green Bay and Manitowoc County to house the Manitowoc Public School District alternative programs on the UWGB Manitowoc campus. I'm making that motion coming out of facilities.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by David. Discussion on that. Hearing seen none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. And on to the second motion.
The second motion that came out of regarding the same topic was the memorandum of understanding. Move that the Board of Education approve the memorandum of understanding with the University of Wisconsin Green Bay to house the Manitowoc Public School District alternative programs on the UWGB Manitowoc campus. Motion's coming out of facilities.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ann. Discussion. Hearing seen none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay, and that is approved. Smart panels.
Smart panels, I'll make the motion, then I'll have Nate explain a little bit about that because it's way beyond my understanding of former teacher. The motion came out of facilities unanimously to approve that the Board of Education approve the purchase of smart panel devices from CDWG Services. That motion is coming out of facilities and finance.
Do we have a second? Second. David with the second. Smart panels, explain them.
Okay, so, you know, it used to be a really big deal in the 2000s if you had a projector that you could share between rooms. So then eventually every room got a projector. Then we got those things called smart boards in the 2010s. So this is the next, you know, the next progression of that technology. So you go from having a board screwed into your wall with the projector pointed at it. Now you have, you know, a TV, you know, something around that size that it is like a gigantic iPad that you can interact with.
You mean like a big overhead projector?
Well, you can't. So these and they're on carts, so that's part of the proposal, the smart panel, so the TV with the interactive touch displays, that goes on a cart, and then they go into the classroom, and then they can be moved around from different parts of the classroom. Ms. Lofi-Blahnik asked about where they were going to be going, so I got that information from the IT department, which, that's going all over the place. They're going to multiple different buildings. One of the things Jessica and the technology department shared with me is they have a multi-year plan. They're looking for, next year to move in about another 40 to 50 to replace some other ones. So they have a long-term plan to get these in all the classrooms, because like you said, there are more than 51 classrooms. So we currently have some in classrooms. This gets us a little closer than next budget year. I think it'll be complete, I believe, by the end of next school year, where every classroom has one according to the plan.
Questions, David? This is something that I hadn't thought of when we were discussing it. Is this a groundswell also from the staff? They're like, hey, let's do this. Or is this like, here you go? You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, I can't speak to that.
This came out of technology department, correct?
Well, I can speak, I don't know if it's a groundswell or not, but what I can tell you is, as some of the existing units we have in the district age and sort of start dying out, we have to look at replacement anyway. And so when we're looking at replacement of those types of things, what's the newest technology available? And, does that price point match what we're willing to spend to make those technological advancements in the classroom? That's the conversation that I've been aware of. I don't know if it came from staff or how it began the conversation. But I also know that in the committee, or I'm sorry, not in the committee, but yeah, it might have been in the committee. Somebody asked about professional development, and it will be done through our library media specialists.
Okay.
The panels are very popular with the staff that have them, and they talk about that and share that with other people.
So they were piloted?
They're being used.
Yeah, okay.
They're being
So,
used.
yes.
Chris. Two-word question this time instead of four-pager. Everybody can be relieved. You ready?
It's okay.
Cooper funds?
Cooper funds have been expended. They're gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're gone forever? Or
Yep, the plan was to, it was scheduled to be spent out.
Spent out.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. I thought of that after.
Yeah.
I wonder how it got rationed out with the largest school in the system getting 4.
They've already invested.
They've already
made
invested, okay,
investments,
that's a good answer.
for the classrooms. And the other thing, in terms of, from an operational perspective, it drives your support staff a little nutty and your teaching staff a little nutty if you don't have like the same thing in all your classrooms. Then like the tech's got to think, okay, well, this one's got that and this and the other, and from experience of having done that, that's tough. And then, teachers, if they're moving from classroom to classroom, specifically, like at Lincoln, like, okay, well, I can do this in one room, but I can't do that in the other room. So just trying to get things, level set, and I think that's a good move, good plan.
I just want to reiterate Mr. Melky's point. As a teacher who saw the district go through 3 years where they bought the cheapest smart board they could get each year, so it was a different smart board each year, so none of them worked with each other's software. That was horrible, and there were smart boards that you could project on and nothing else, so this is a better way.
Just a screen.
Yeah.
We have a motion to approve the smart boards and to put the opaque projector and overhead projector for the Education Hall of Fame with a box of chalk.
And the ditto machine.
And the ditto machine. All in favor of approving to move to the smart panels, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Facility update, informational.
Yeah.
Mike, you got anything for us? Nope. Okay, anything else, Keith?
Nope.
Quick.
It's the Schmitz.
Yeah. Just quick some remarks. I've had the pleasure of seeing the baseball, soccer, and track teams this year, but it was so nice to see the art
Oh, yeah.
displayed tonight and to hear the stories from the apprentice kids. You know, we got to remember sometimes, maybe it's because athletics gets a lot more headlines and stuff, but it's nice to see the other stuff. And speaking of that, I think the new AD, that's part of where she wants to start getting dates out for the arts, concerts and stuff, and do some of the same promo that we do for basketball. So I'm looking forward to that. Talk a little bit about the voucher thing, and as I said before, it was a good meeting. Please feel free to write our elected representatives your feelings on the additional money that we're going to get for special ed. That's something that's needed. Those of you that I saw at Madison and Jackson, we saw some pretty good ceremonies to close those schools, and they were both good. So the only other thing I'm going to add is that I've been very happy. We take input as board members, and I've been very happy the way that we've handled that. People have, let Lee know and gone to him when something comes up, and that's important to do. And I want to keep that door open so people feel that they can contact board members. That is part of, that is part of what we do. But we have to explain to them that when they do that, don't expect me to change anything for you. I'm just kind of somebody that's going to go to the super and say, hey, this is a concern. So we've done that pretty well, and I appreciate that from you guys. You guys are hey. All right. And anything else? You see the future meeting dates on there?
Oh, did we ever mention Forrest Heilhammer? Was officially, he is a finalist for the SAT.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, he's.
National Merit Finalist, yeah.
Yeah. He was a finalist.
Yep.
Wow.
So he's in the.
One of 6,000.
Must be doing something right. Right?
Yep.
All right. We are, Board of Education will vote to convene into a closed session for the discussion of a personnel matter to Wisconsin Statute 1985, parentheses 1, parentheses F, considering financial, medical, social, or personal histories or disciplinary data of specific persons, preliminary consideration of specific personnel problem, or the investigation of charges against specific person, except where paragraph B applies, which is discussed. So we need to have this will be a short closed session. And Lori, if you would do the roll call to go.
I would move to so go and close.
Second.
Okay, thank you.
Christopher Abel.
Aye.
David Bowman.
Aye.
Beth Hansen.
Aye.
Ann Holson.
Aye.
Mary Wolfe Blahnik. Keith Shaw.
Aye.
Carrie Trask.
Aye.
So we're going to close session.
You don't want to